Have you ever been in a place or a time in your life you just realize that this isn't working, and yet you stick around and you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again until you're ultimately miserable or unhappy? And I don't want to be there. Some serious reflecting is needed when you go through that mindset, when you start thinking about what else could I be doing out there. I'll be honest, nearing the end of my tiny house build, I really felt that it was time for me to slow down, go live in the middle of nowhere, and maybe even stop creating content. I was done. I thought about this. I thought about just kind of relaxing for many years to come, where I could find a regular job, settle down, and be happy, and almost live that retirement life. Well, here's the thing, guys. I simply cannot do that. I am simply not done yet.
I'm up in my content corner right now, and I need to bring you guys an amazing product that I've actually showed on this channel once before, and it was so good and it's been so helpful to me. I needed to share it with everybody here yet again. Welcome the Hover X1. This little, tiny, pocket-sized, I guess you can call it a drone, has been really helpful for me. First off, this is in perfect timing for the holidays. It is literally the perfect size for a stocking stuffer. I mean, look at how small that is. Obviously, the link for the Hover X1 is going to be in the description below for everybody. I don't care if you are a content creator on any platform. It can work for long form and it can work for short form. So easy to use. Download the app, and then everything else is controlled practically through this right here. Once you connect your phone to this, you've got detachable batteries. Obviously, I want to show this thing in action. So if you don't know anything about me, I moved into a tiny house, which is where I am right now. I'm inside of my content corner, which is in the upper corner section of the tiny house. Currently, my tiny house is in the Northeast, the state of Maine to be exact. And we have got some really nice winter wonderland type snow. However, that being said, I have a pretty steep driveway and I need to put some salt out there. I brought this out there with me to kind of show off the different features it can do. It's as easy to turn on just by holding this button here, and now it's going to talk to us.
Current mode, orbit.
I can set it to whatever I want by just pushing this button here. Bird eye view gives you that overhead look. I don't need to set up any like huge crane that you would see in like movie sets, or I wouldn't have to like get up on top of a roof of something and point a camera down.
Hover.
Hover, it just sits there and hovers. It's beautiful, it's great, oh my goodness.
Zoom out.
Zoom out is a really cool feature. It can go from 5 feet zooming out all the way out to 30 feet zooming out, which I show you here in that video where I'm at the bottom of my driveway and I chose to go out 30 feet. It's a cool feature. It's really nice. You don't have to have a friend zooming out holding your camera for you. This is your friend right here.
Follow.
Follow is probably my favorite feature of it all. You can decide on where you want it to go in regarding to following you around, the distance it is. It detects you and then it follows you wherever you may be going. This is really useful to have because I don't have a second camera person with me. I don't have a significant other. I don't have a friend that I live with. And I tried strapping a camera to my dog, Glacier, and that just doesn't work. The Hover X1 is perfect for all of that.
Orbit.
We'll end with orbit again. It just literally orbits you. It tracks who you are and then it'll orbit around you. Guys, this is a game changer for all of you content creators out there. Make sure you get it for the holiday season. It's a perfect stocking stuffer for yourself or for someone that you just want to give a gift to. Click that link in the description below and make sure you get it today, plus a little discount for everybody. Okay, let's get back to the video so we can enjoy what I've been doing. Doing some serious reflecting the last 4-6 weeks, maybe. People that have followed me for a while know that I create content, you know, vlog style, and you know, a lot of it has to do with my, you know, the van building that I've done in the past, my travels, how I lived out of a van. That was way back. You know, then I got into a lot of touring, you know, people's rigs and companies, and showing all the different ideas. And you know, I've built, me personally, I've built 3 vans. I was on a TV show which was more of a streaming show. We built the van in 5 days. It was a competition show. It was really a lot of fun. We did that. I was full-time van life for 3.5 years. Got out of that. Now I travel and go speak at events, and I do all those things, right? Then one day I wake up and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna build a tiny house. You guys all followed me along that journey where I pretty much built a tiny house for the past year. I finished it, and I moved up to a piece of land that I purchased. Which has been great. Excuse my little speech right now while I actually stop at the transfer station to make a trash dump, I guess. You know, this is what you do in small towns, everybody. There is no, like, stopping at a curb to, or having the trucks come by to the curb. So let me just pop out. I'll probably even just leave the camera rolling because that's how I roll. Say the one thing I do love about small town living, not the one thing, one of the things, is, you know, everybody knows everybody. Now that can be a pro and a con. That can be a pro and a con. Current temperature is 36 degrees. It's gonna drop into the 20s later. It's pretty much rainy like this all day long, so it's gonna be like a very dense fog and rain and wet. On top of that, it's in the 30s, so it's cold. Now I signed up for this. I'm totally fine with that, and you know, I kind of like this weather. It's really, like, for me, it's cozy. Like, if I had a fireplace in my tiny house, it would be kind of cool, but also maybe dangerous. I don't know. I just didn't want to put a fireplace in my tiny house. A lot of people do the wood burning stoves, which are cool, but I didn't do that. I have a radiant floor heating instead. So going back to my speech, you know, for those that have followed me along all of my journeys and everything, it's been one heck of a ride, right? I've been really beating myself up the last, I don't even know how long, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. And luckily I follow somebody online that I truly respect, and his name's Sean Cannell, and he has a YouTube channel called Think Media TV, and I watch a lot of his stuff. He has a podcast. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but he's been helping, like, just like, and I don't know him personally. He follows me on Instagram, which is fantastic, mostly because I read his book, you know, YouTube Secrets, and he posted a video recently, and it was like, kind of went into like like, we self-destruct ourselves. Like, we call ourselves too lazy, or, you know, we call ourselves not working hard enough, or maybe we're working too much, or something along those lines. And that video really resonated with me. It really kind of, like, I took it to heart. It's not that I've been lazy. It's that I needed a break. I needed to slow down. I needed to reset. And that's what these past couple of months have been for me. It's been a reset mode. But if I'm being honest with everybody here, I also don't know if I'm going to be staying out here like this. That has been tough for me. And I had a really long talk with a really good friend of mine that also lives actually really close to me. She lives, and she's one of my very first van life friends. She was the very first tour I did on my channel way back in like 2018. Her name's Caitlin. And again, I respect her. We're very good friends. She actually owns 2 homes, right? She like lives in her van and owns 2 houses. Long-term rental on one, Airbnb on the other. And I was talking to her yesterday, and I was just like, you know, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. And she's like, yeah, I'm not surprised. And I was like, you know, you're not the only one that said that. I've heard that from a couple others. And she's like, listen, we're both, you know, single people in our 30s and 40s. I'm like 30s, we'll just say 30s. It's different living single life in rural areas. It really is. I don't know how else to explain that. There is no way for me to explain that or go into further depth with it. You know, you'll see that meme where it's like, happiness is 40 acres in a house in the woods. Is it? I got 4 acres, so I got 1/10 of that. I can guarantee you that 40 acres is going to bring me more happiness than 4 acres. And I'm not necessarily happy. So the whole point of this was the reflection of what is happiness. And I talked about my journey a minute ago. I talked about all the things that I have been doing and I have done. And I talked about all the builds that I've done. And honestly, I think it's safe to say, I think a lot of people aren't going to argue with me here, I enjoy the process a heck of a lot more than I enjoy the product. I love building. Now, here's the issue. Put the camera up. I got to the gym. I'm not driving anymore. Here's my issue. I also don't want to work for anybody. It's so bad to say. I don't want to work for anybody. I like work for myself. I don't want to do that. So I don't want to go and be a builder. I don't have the capital to go and start my own design firm, my own tiny house building company, or my own van building company. I don't want to do that. I don't. It's not actually that cold out. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Come on, inside. I'm actually packing up for a trip here. I'm headed out west. Now, this video is coming out by the time I get back. I'll actually be back in my tiny by the time this video comes out. But I'm going to San Diego. What is the temperature? Whopping 37 degrees outside. I've got it set to 69 on the inside. We're nice and comfy. So I gotta do some dishes tonight. I gotta pack up. I gotta give Glacier her little treat. So that's why I got clothes everywhere. It's just a mess. I want to end this video kind of like on a positive note. Like I don't want anything I've been saying or anything I've been doing. Oh, maybe you guys saw behind me. Maybe you can't. I actually got all my clothes hanging up in the back. So the washer dryer combo unit is actually really awesome. However, the drying, you need to have like, it even says in the manual, you need a half load for the drying. So what I do is I'll put like a half load in there. I'll do like only like a 30-minute cycle. And then I installed a like a drying line, and I just hang my clothes up and let them dry. And they're already pretty dry by the time it comes out of the dryer, but it's always nice to do that. Watching the football game. You know, I'm leaving in the next couple of days, and I'm headed out to San Diego to do an amazing video with an amazing company that's going to be the most expensive van that I've ever seen in my life, I've ever stepped in. So stay tuned for that tour video. I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's the biggest price tag I've ever seen in a van, and I've stepped in some of the most expensive vans, and I'm shocked by this price tag. I don't even want to say it until that video comes out. I'm finishing up an edit right now up in my content corner here. I'm finishing up the Shaden mothership van tour, so that's coming out here soon. Because I recorded all this kind of like over a couple different days, I don't know what I said. I don't want you guys to think that I'm like unhappy or depressed or anything like that. I'm not. I mean, how can I be with this thing just lying on me always? The last couple months for me have been really good. I think it's time for me to relocate back out west. Whether or not the tiny is coming with me is up for debate. I absolutely love this tiny house. There could be an opportunity for me to move on from the tiny house. There could be an opportunity for me to take the tiny. I don't know yet. I just know that I need to relocate back out west, and it has nothing to do with the cold weather, because the places that I'm looking at are actually also cold weather climates. It actually has to do a lot with work. Traveling back and forth west coast to east coast is hard for me. So I think I have to relocate back west. Where I go is still up for debate. I have some cities in mind, but I don't, and I also need population. I will say that. So when all this transpires is I don't know. But I will also end with, I think it is very important for everybody to try whatever that they're trying to do. I would always wonder in my mind if this is something I wanted to do. When I had these talks with people in my life, my friends or my family, when I had this talk with them, the same thing kept on I kept on bringing the same thing back up. And that was, would I rather live in the woods and go escape to the city, or would I rather live in the city and go escape to the woods? And for me, it was I'd rather live in the city and go escape to the woods. I need it, and I know that she actually adores people and dogs, and I need to be closer to those things, those amenities for her. I need to be to those amenities to me, for my mental health too. So I have an amazing project coming up with Sandy Vans that let's just put it this way. I'm not done van building. I'll just say that much. And I'm not done building. And that's going to be a mystery, or how I'm going to do that without a shop. I'll have to show you. So we're saying goodnight as she just stares at me awkwardly. Good night.
I could run through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the rain.